Buongiorno everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Dorina and we are going to make something really fun today that is yummy and also just something easy that you can make and have it for, you know, a few days and use it for lunches or snacks or a meal. So what we're making is called basically it's a savory cake, a savory bread, but it's a quick bread. So it's kind of easy, that's what makes it so easy and fun. So in Italian, they have great names for these things. They call it a ciambella. A ciambella is like a donut. But you know, when you make something in a pan that has a hole, you know, leaves a hole in the middle, they call everything like that with a hole in the middle a ciambella, which is what they call donuts. Now, over here, we say donut and we think of a little sweet thing, so we can't call it a donut, but you know, so we're going to call it a savory bread ring. They call it a ciambella rustica or a ciambella salata because they tend to differentiate things from sweet and salty. So savory is the word we use, they call it salty salata. So anyway, salted, salty, whatever. So anyway, so that's it. So this wonderful bread ring we're going to make is going to have some cabbage in it. It's going to have cheese. It's going to have some ham and some, actually I have a couple slices of salami, so we're going to throw those into. We're going to throw a couple different things and make it really yummy. I will post the actual recipe on my website, and I'll put a link to it all on my Facebook page afterwards. I've already got it all written out, ready to go. I'll give you the actual recipe that I've, you know, kind of already modified, and I'll throw in the modifications that I usually do. So anyway, we're going to start because we've got a couple things that have to be done first. Nothing major, nothing hard, but what we're going to do, now you can, and honestly, you can put in as much of the fillings as you want. Now the actual recipe called for 200 grams of, I should have cut this first. Wow. Okay. You know, I don't know what I was thinking. It's just so little and cute. Look, it's little, cute, and tough. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's see look how pretty that is, you know? Let's see how much a half of this small cauliflower, listen to me, cabbage, got my wrong C in there. All right, a half of one, this is 480 grams, okay? So it calls for 200 grams, but I'm gonna do, well, once I take out the core, and I'm gonna cut this baby in half, and the core will come right out. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna use the side that the core came out of. All right, I'm gonna put these things aside here. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and weigh this and see. Oops. Let's try this one more time. Okay, grams. All right, look at that. A quarter of this little one is exactly 204 grams, so that's pretty close. I might end up throwing in a smidge more. Well, let's see what this looks like. So basically what we're going to do is I'm just going to slice this into little skinny pieces. So I cut it once in half. And then I'm just slicing the rest of it. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to mix this in this bowl here. I'm not going to put this big core. There's a piece of core there. I'm going to make this nice and a couple little random funky spots there. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to put this in the bowl. Actually, it does look pretty nice. I'm just gonna make some of these pieces that are stuck together, pull them apart. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of marinate this. So it's gonna kind of, I don't wanna say it's gonna pickle, but it's gonna pickle a little bit. So what we're gonna put in is a spoonful of apple cider vinegar. That's all it really needs. We don't wanna overdo it because we just want it to be a little bit, just a little bit pickled. And then we're going to squeeze half a lemon. Let's see if I don't squeeze my eyeball. like I've done before. All right, this is a Meyer lemon. Oh my God, it's so nice. Okay, just gently. And put a little lemon juice. So this is 2 different kinds of acids here. It's going to break down this. And of course, what did I do? Got a seed. There we go. Okay, and we're just going to put this over here. Get all our stuff out of the way. And then we are just going to mix this up. Actually, get little tongs, and I'm going to put this burner on to warm that pot up, and we're going to do something else. So this, we're just going to mix it up. Oh, flying out there. All right, and we're going to just let this, make sure, I like to make sure everything's kind of down into the stuff and all touched with the vinegar and the lemon. Okay, we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get these onions done. But we're going to get, now, when I first found this recipe, they put in just onions raw, okay? And that's fine. But honestly, I love the sweetness of a good onion. And this, you know, called for an onion, but I'm going to do half red onion and half sweet onion. So I have some sweet yellow onions here. So let's see here. And you know what? You can even put more than just an onion, because onion to me, first of all, because we're cooking them down, they get smaller. And they impart such a nice sweet flavor to the to any dish, actually. What am I saying? This dish, not just this one, but lots. Okay, this is one of those onions that just because people are looking at me, it doesn't want to peel. That's all right. We're going to get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, there we go. You know, a knife can serve so many good uses, solves a multitude of issues. All right, there we go. I put this in the little trash can here. All right, and I'm going to just basically sort of dice this a little bit. I'm not going to make it too, I'm not going to little dices, just like 4 slices or so here. I'm just going to put these in the frying pan there with a little oil and let them break down. That ugly piece of skin in my way. Okay. Put that there. Make sure you get all the skin pieces out. All right. And we're going to put a little bit of, real quick, we're just going to put, like 2 tablespoons of oil. And then we're going to put these in there. Oh, look at that sizzle. Or hear that sizzle. All right. Now we're going to put some yellow onion in. I like mixing things up. You know, sometimes a recipe calls for one or the other. But if you've got both, you know, the purple's going to be really pretty in there, I got to say. But they both impart a nice flavor. And they're just a pinch, you know, just a hair different. So, all right, this one peeled a little better. Ta-da! And we're going to do the same thing with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 slices. There was a piece of onion skin there. We don't want that. So, oh gosh, there's nothing that makes a house smell better than cooking onions. Well, and garlic. Oh, and lots of other things too. Food. Okay, so right now, we are just going to break these babies up, get them, spread them around in the oil. How did I get that great big piece there? Okay. And while these are cooking down, we're going to prep everything else. You know, I'm going to put just another drizzle. Wipe it on the front with my apron. Okay. Spread it all the way around so you have as much surface cooking as possible. I turned it down to a little bit of a lower heat there. Okay. And we now have a clean counter. My rag. All right, next thing. So I have already cubed up some cheese. So, you know, my original recipe, I think, called for scamorza, which is basically a hard mozzarella. I had a mixture of cheeses in my refrigerator, so I used them. I had some mozzarella, the hard kind, not the fresh mozzarella. I had a little bit of provolone. I had a little bit of, what do you call it? I had some, I like mixing cheeses that some are kind of like softer and less salty, and then the ones that like a Parmigiano fresh. If you have a piece of fresh Parmigiano that's not too hard, and it's, you know, you can slice it nice, a couple little pieces of that in there adds a little bite of zing to it. I love mixing the cheeses. So I've got my cheese in here ready. Then we're gonna do some ham. Now, I know you can buy cubed ham, and it's, you know, but it's, you know, it's crap. It's, you know, never can find that already cut up. What you want to do, so what I usually do when I need some little pieces of ham, I will buy, because to buy it at the deli was more expensive to buy like a, you know, a slice that I could cube, and they didn't have any organic. But this is uncured, no preservatives, no nitrates or nitrites, you know, one of those almost animal, it's not organic, but it's close. So this is what I'll do. Now this is technically more weight than I needed, but that's okay because I'm gonna make this thing nice and hearty. So I'm just gonna cube this up real quick, just cutting it in slices. This is all just a little bit of cutting prep work, and then you put it all together in like 2 minutes. So now, actually that does smell good. Okay, I'm just gonna cube. Love cubing things. I don't know what it is. It's fun. You know, test yourself, see if you can get them all close to the same size. Of course, if you want a big piece, a little piece, that's up to you. Just make sure the pieces on the end that have a little bit more skin on them, even though it's not really skin, it's more like seasoning, but it's tougher. Make sure those are cut all the way through so you don't have this big chunk of something like that. So basically, I'm just gonna throw these in here. Let's wait real quick. Let's stir the onions. Oh, wow. They're beautiful. And they're pretty much already done. I'm turning those off. Speedy, speedy. Okay. And then I've got some ham. So I put in about a cup and a half of the cheese. Usually about a cup is fine. And kind of the same with the ham. So that basically allows me to have a piece. Okay. So we got ham. Nope, that's a big piece. Cut that one in half. Okay. So now those onions are off, and those are going to go in the mix too. So now we're going to go to our big bowl, and we're going to start putting everything together. So we're going to start out with our eggs. So we're going to start with 3 eggs. All right. Well, you know what? Because I'm putting them in here first, it's okay that I'm not doing them in another bowl first. That's 1. That's 2. No shells. I'm doing good. I shouldn't say that before I did the 3rd one. And 3. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Let's smush the garbage can here. Ta-da! It's nice. Love these things. One of these days I'm going to get somebody to make these for me. All right. Let's get a ladle. I mean a ladle. A whisk. We're just going to mix up our eggs. Whoops, there's a little dot there. Oh, that's just a piece of dot from the egg, not shell. All right. We're going to beat our eggs. And to this little mixture, we're going to add about a half a cup of ricotta. This is way more than that, but I'm kind of like, let's just be generous. It's probably a little more than half a cup of ricotta. We're going to add some, a little bit of olive oil. So the olive oil, it calls for, you know, because of course this is an Italian recipe, 80 grams of olive oil. Am I going to measure it? Nah. 80 grams. You know what? Let's measure it. All right. We'll see how much it comes to. So, let's see. Put that on there. Turn that on. How much is 80 grams? Oops, that's ounces. That doesn't work. Grams. All right. 80 grams exactly. Look at that. I'm good. Is about a half a cup. Ta-da! So half a cup of olive oil. All right. And then we're gonna just mix this up. We're gonna add a little salt and pepper. All right, pinch of salt and pepper. So now, of course, you know, if you wanted to and you didn't have kids around, you could add a little bit of hot pepper flakes. We're gonna do a pinch of pepper. I'm gonna put, it calls for like a little spoonful. I'm gonna put 2 pinches of salt because there's cheese and ham in here, so we really don't want too much. Literally, that was just pinched between my fingers. Okay. Now we've got the flour. So we've got here 3 cups of flour. I'm sorry, 2 cups of flour. It's 300 grams of flour, comes to about 2 cups. So, and what we're gonna do here is we're going to mix a nice heaping teaspoon. Oops, I got the wrong spoon. Boop. Oh, I know, right here. I used my baking powder spoon for the ricotta. All right, so we're gonna put a nice, they called for a spoon, not a teaspoon, so that's more like a tablespoon. So we're gonna just mix this in. You know what? It's a tablespoon, not teaspoon. So I'm gonna put another pinch in just to make sure I even it up. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix this in, and then we're gonna add all of our additions to it. So we're just gonna do a little bit of flour at a time, just so it gets mixed. Because this is making a dough, so it's not supposed to be a batter. It's kind of a loose dough. Okay. All right, we're going to mix it till it's all absorbed and wet. Okay. So, you see it's a nice, thick, kind of battery dough. Now this looks a little, oh, it's good. Once we add everything into it, it's gonna be really nice. So, we're gonna add in our ham and our cheese. You know, I'm gonna go to that 3/4 mark just because I did kind of overdo it a little bit. We're gonna put this in. We're gonna add in our nice marinated cabbage. It's gonna be so pretty. Oh, that smells good. And it's gonna give it a nice little zing, you know? And that little bit of vinegar stuff is gonna go in there too. And then we're going to, okay, Dorina, my dirty fingers. We're gonna take this, we're gonna get all of this here, and we're gonna drop in all these beautiful golden, yummy onions. Now, you might see that I have a few other things here on my counter, and these are other options you can throw in here. For example, this beautiful fennel. We could chop some of that up and we could fry that up, you know, saute that with the onions. You know, I had some nice mushrooms. We could throw some of them in. You know what, actually, I'm gonna throw some mushrooms in because Pasquale loves mushrooms. And so let's make him happy today. We're gonna put these things over here, cover these things over, and I am going to really quick chop up a few mushrooms. I could have sauteed them, but you know, you can also put these in because, you know, mushrooms cook very nicely and quickly. I'm just gonna put them in little pieces. There we go. Put some. Okay, throw some mushrooms in because, you know, we always gotta make the boys happy. Okay. Besides, you know, mushrooms are so good for you. Do you know that they are full of antioxidants and all kind of really, really good healthy stuff. All right, where did I just put my, I'm gonna use a spoon now. Not, so let's see if we can get this all mixed together. Okay. Wow, it's really pretty. And that cabbage is really kind of coloring the dough. It's so pretty. Making sure I didn't forget anything. I'm looking at my recipe real quick, make sure I didn't forget anything. Got my eggs and my everything. Okay, that's all good. You know, I'm looking because it feels, no, actually, I was gonna say felt a little dry, but I did go a little heavy on a couple things. Let's see, now this is nice. Okay. So now we're gonna take, oh wow, look at this. It's all a nice dough with all these wonderful additions to it. I'm glad I didn't put all that ham and cheese in though, because then I would have had to add some more stuff in here. All right, so lastly, we're gonna get our ring here. Now, you know, it's funny, in Italy, it's very easy to find like a bundt pan with the thing in the middle that's, you know, kind of fluted around the edges. Here, we can only find the Angel Food pans. I'm gonna have to bring one of those home from Italy because they're really pretty, but that's okay. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put a little teeny bit of oil in here, and I'm just gonna use my hands and rub it around. You can use, you know, a rag, a towel, a napkin, or a sprayer, whatever you like. But I like using my hands. That's why somebody told me recently I don't have hands that look that old. And I'm like, oh really? Goody goody. Because I feel like all the time I'm looking at my hands, I'm like, ah, but you know. All right, so this is all nice and oiled. Make sure you don't forget to oil the stem in the middle. And then we're just gonna put this in here like this, in chunks. Now, the unfortunate thing is that we're not gonna be able to see this all done right now, because it's gonna take about 40 minutes to cook. But I will, later on my page, show you a finished photo. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you, but maybe we're not gonna do it now, was you can also take, if you have a mini bundt pan, Pampered Chef, you can make little ones of these and they're perfect to pop into a lunch, and they are so cute. And they're so, you know, it's kind of like a piece of party in your lunch, or in your whatever that you got to take, or a snack, or actually, you know, put this on a table and have a bunch of little ones. I'm making one big one, but you know, that's just another option to do. I make fancy donuts in that. I do have a donut pan also somewhere, but I make them in this because they're fluted and they have that fun little shape, so it's like a prettier donut. Okay, so we now have this beautiful pan with all these goodies in here. Make sure it's all, sorry, that was loud. Okay, see how pretty it is? So this is gonna go in the oven now. And then when it comes out, I will take a beautiful photo and slice it and show you what it looks like. But this should puff up a little bit because of the baking powder. It is, it did have some leavening in it. And it's going to be yummy. Okay. So let's put this in here. I've got it on 375 and it's gonna cook for about 40 minutes. So I hope that you guys think this sounds as good as I know it is, and that, yeah, let's get my towel wash his hands. They look so all sticky. But anyway, this is a great thing. You can have slices of it as an appetizer. You can have slices of it as, even a side dish or an entree, a lunch, actually even breakfast. Another thing I've done with this, because I love it with the onions, is you could slice up some zucchini. You could put in some fennel, like I said, some mushrooms, whatever you would like to add to it. But as long as you have what's the special treat about this recipe is that little bit of pickled cabbage. That adds such a treat flavor to it. It's a little different, but it's really fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. We're gonna be having lots of great recipes coming up over this next future, I'm planning on just keeping on going. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you guys soon. Mwah, ciao. And don't forget, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, my Instagram. Everything's under Doreena's Kitchen. Google me. Write me a Google review. That'd be cool. Anyway, so anyway, you can, help me out. I appreciate it. And I love you guys, and I will keep doing this for you. See you soon. Ciao.